I really hope this doesn't like lag on me. That'll suck. I really hope this doesn't like lag on me. That'll suck. I should be good to go. Hopefully the quality is good. I don't even know. Oh, this is not the best quality. Man, streaming slows me down so much. Hmm. That should be a decent quality. That should be. Yeah, if this starts lagging, that'll be an L. Yeah, I hope this works. Getting a lot of lag. Yeah, I hope this works. Works. 。 I can't even watch it on another. Uh, all right, it's 8:30. Hopefully, people just pop in. To be honest, I can't even join my own live stream. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or I'm streaming at too high of quality or what, but um, yeah, it kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. Hopefully, people like mention me on Twitter, or text me or something if like they can't join the live stream. Hopefully, it ends up working out though. I don't know how. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I just connected to my own live stream. Trying to see if everything's lagging or if we're good to go. Mic check, check, check. Mic. Yeah, this is super weird. But I'm gonna just go with it. I'm tired. I don't really feel like doing this all night. Let me pull up this Medium article I have. Because I did write something. Click on the profile. Or I don't know what you click on. Oh, there we go. Stories. Public. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, I put out a Medium article. This was last Sunday. Today's what, the 27th. So this was 5 days ago. Um, I mean, definitely a lot has happened in 5 days. But you can kind of just go through this. It is outdated, not only in the fact of 5 days of price action have since happened, but also some of these horizontals I'm not even using anymore. But I mean, at the time I wrote them, they were very relevant. I just kind of rethought how I want to look at my horizontals, which I kind of tweeted about maybe like less than an hour ago, actually. But I go over horizontals, then I go over the cloud, then I go over some moving averages, or exponential moving averages, some oscillators I like to look at, fib pivots, which are just pivots like a lot of you use, but based on the Fibonacci ratio and how they're calculated, or I guess the golden ratio and Fibonacci ratios, and some harmonic patterns, conclusion, bonus chart, all that. At the end of each section, I kind of like have commentary. So I'm not just giving you pictures. I'm actually kind of like talking about it. And then each chart is annotated in and of itself. So each chart can tell you a lot of information. And then I kind of, put some commentary at the end to let you know at least how I'm interpreting those charts. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I guess what I want to show you all is where we're currently at. I guess people want to know, like, are we in a downtrend? Are we in an uptrend? This right here, this candle, that was huge. That was very important. This is what got everybody bullish. And of course, we crossed 9,000, which is right here. And then the Vegeta memes, it's over 9,000 came out, et cetera, et cetera. So people are feeling like very bullish, which makes me nervous, actually. But long story short, I mean, we're still in a downtrend. Like, just let's like keep it 100. Like, we're going down. We broke the log trend line, which I think a lot of people were looking at, which is like great for reference. But at the end of the day, can't trade based on diagonals. So we broke that, which is really cool. And perhaps you even like a retest of it, which we did not do. But for many people, this right here, this was a bullish event, bullish signal. Some people use it as a trigger, enter a long position, which, I mean, if you did, you'd be in profit right now, so it's not all bad. But I focus on the horizontals, and let's see. We are not in a bull market, in my opinion, until we break this horizontal right here. And that's really all there is to it. We have to break this right there. If we don't break that, there's no bull trend, right? 11.771. Have to clear this wick, have to take out this high, make a higher high, perhaps even test this zone as support, and that'll be like the ultimate bull signal. Until then, all of this nonsense, everything pretty much in this box is not bull season. If you want to have bullish sentiment, like, you're definitely increasing your profits. You'll get a higher reward for going long here, but I mean, you also have a higher risk because it's not a confirmed bull trend. If you want to narrow your point of view and you're kind of only looking at this right here, let's see, get that arrow out, and you want to look at that, then sure, yeah, we're in a bull trend, right? Or an uptrend. Yeah, sure, go for it. We're in this zone. I don't know if you want to call it a channel, not really a channel, but we're in this area where, we have a bottom trend line, top trend line, both sloping upwards. Cool. If you want to trade based off of that, go for it. Let's see. Actually, let's look at the weekly. The weekly was showing me something kind of interesting. I actually hadn't looked at it all day until right before I started this video. And yes, so the weekly is actually looking like it's about to show up as a shooting star. We're going to close well off the high if we don't close above like 9.3, right? So we kind of want to close above 9.3, or else we'll really start looking like a shooting star right here. And really, really both these candles together are interesting because this one isn't quite a hanging man, but it does close pretty well off below. And so this shows like signs of selling pressure, right? And then you come over to this candle where we're looking like we're about to close well off the high, which shows, again, more signs of selling pressure, just in the opposite direction. So this meant the market opened here, bears took it down, bulls managed to, fight and go up. On this candle, market opened here, bulls push price higher, and they're getting beat down. And so now for 2 candles in a row, we've observed, bulls getting beat up. They kind of just came out of this one, but, they're kind of beat up at this point, which is why you really want to see a higher close high, or closer to the high. If you turn volume on, yeah, this is definitely, it's even validating the shooting star. So I am using BitMEX, but it's all relative. I'm sure it will look the same for Bitfinex or Bitstamp. Not the same, but like it will look the same relative to the rest of the chart. You know what I mean? So this week isn't even over. It's Friday, so the Friday candle just closed. So now we still have Saturday and Sunday, 2 more days of trading, and we already have more volume than the previous 3 weeks, right? The whole month of April. This candle is going to have more volume for this week than the other weeks in April. And if we don't close closer to the high, then all that volume will have been in selling pressure, right? That's how you should read these shooting stars. And so if we were to close in a shooting star, and let me just show you all what a shooting star is. Oops. Pull this up. Yeah, man, streaming really slows down my internet. So yeah, basically you have this price increase, shooting star, price decrease. This is a good example. It's a good example. You have an uptrend. People call it the shadow, the wick. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Damn, still going slow. The wick is much larger, usually about twice as large as the body of the candle, shows sign of selling pressure at the top of the trend. Here's another example. And if you see it at the bottom of a trend, it's sign of buying pressure. And it's called an inverted hammer, right? But this is what I'll be looking for on the weekly. If you're bullish, you definitely want it to close to a point where the wick is not twice as large as the candle body. Let me hide that volume because I don't use that as much anymore. I use volume, just not that volume. All right, let's go back to daily. Looking at the daily, you can see we're sitting on a support level right here. Pretty solid long entry. Should you want to go long, put your stop under this low. I highly doubt the market trades this low, creates a lower low, takes you out, and then continues upward. If we make a lower low here, probably going to keep going downward until, at least 8.3-ish, but definitely could be more. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about opening a long. I'm just really not too sure. Just going to kind of wait. We go into a 4-hour. Yeah, so this was very, very nice, actually. We made this higher high. Boom. Made a higher high. Actually, let's look at the line just so we can look at the closes. Made this higher high. No divergences, but that's kind of nice, making a higher high at support. What you would like, actually, no, this is pretty good because not only is a higher high, you also have volume decreasing, or a higher low. Man, how can I say a higher high? Higher low. But you also have volume decreasing. So what this tells you is, okay, bears really dumped the price here. They had an opportunity once price came up here, because this buying pressure, this volume right here, was much less than the dump volume to get it all the way down here, right? So now it's bears time to take the price even lower. So what they needed to do was take out this low right here. They needed to take out that low with more volume. So not only did they fail to take out the low, they also didn't. They also had less volume. Now this wave isn't over yet. This down wave right here, if you want to think of price as waves, which you really should, price and volume. So it's not over yet. We want to see a little more upward continuation to count like this next wave going upward as its own wave. So we could definitely still come down and take out that low. But as of right now, if you're feeling bullish, granted this 4-hour candle just started. So if this 4-hour candle finishes as green at midnight or midnight Eastern Standard Time, I don't know where you are in the world, then that would be a pretty decent long signal. Like you would like that, making a higher high. With less sell volume. This should concern you. It's preventing me from opening along. The fact that the fast stochastic RSI has crossed the midpoint. It looks like the slow is about to cross with it too. So those are like actually, that's not even bias. Like you can use it as bias, but it's actually just a whole trigger, right? It's literally something telling you take this trade, go short. Right, so you see this cross, and people who are feeling bearish actually will see this cross, say, okay, I don't want to short this candle. I'm going to wait for a retrace upward, which we bounced that support damn near perfectly. Oh my god. And then, and these support levels, these blue levels, were based on daily closes, just so you know. So we're on the 4-hour right now, but you might want to see a bounce or retrace upwards, and then they're going to want to short. Right, so if I'm looking at the 4-hour for my bias, I'm looking at the 1 hour to take my trade. So what I'm looking at is this dump, and I'm going to look at this low right here. Right, I'm looking at this low, and I'm probably going to try and short this line. I'm looking for price to come up here, maybe put a stop. It depends on what your tolerance is. And I'm convinced we're going to take out this low. Boom. Yeah, this is the next area of consolidation. So, I mean, this is a pretty decent target. Your target can go all the way down here, but this is pretty solid. Now, this is a very aggressive trade because it's not waiting on confirmation. Let me hide that. But this is how people would be playing this setup. If they're looking to short, they're going to wait for this support to be tested as resistance and enter on a trade here to go short. As they look for price to continue this down wave. So they're looking for a wick right here and then just more downward continuation. And they're looking probably for this sell volume accumulation to keep increasing, right? So that's kind of how you would play it. And if you're looking to go long, I mean, you should be long now because you're seeing this bounce right here. And so the 4-hour candle close, upon this candle close, nah, you shouldn't be long now because we haven't finished. Like I said, you have to check back when this 4-hour candle closes. If you want to be aggressive, you'll go to this 1-hour candle that closes in about 10 minutes. And this is definitely about to close green with a low that took out this low right here. So you'll definitely probably want to go long based on that. Once this closes, maybe put a stop here. I don't know. Aim for the next whatever. This could be you. This could be beneficial. Yeah, I don't really like either of those setups. That's how I would play it. The issue that I have with that long setup I just showed you is actually you can see this selling interest, this selling volume increase over time. And if you actually pay attention, look at this buy volume. Like, look at them. It's non-existent, right? The buy volume is actually decreasing as the sell volume is increasing. And so that's not bullish, right? That doesn't tell me go long. So I'd be concerned. My RSI is under 50, which means momentum is in the bearish direction. This midpoint could serve as resistance as it did over here. And my Stoke is completely bottomed out. So you know that bears are in full control because the stochastic RSI is a measure of RSI. So your RSI has bearish momentum. And then your stochastic RSI is telling you, yeah, that's very bearish because it's bottomed out. You know what I mean? So like that's how I interpret that. That's how I feel like people should interpret it. I don't feel like you should look at that and say overbought or oversold because you need volume to let you know if something's overbought or oversold, right? Only the market can tell you if something is being bought more than it should, or being sold more than it should. This oscillator can't tell you that. So this is good. Pretty decent volume coming off this sell-off for the bulls to pop up, but it's nothing like impressive, you know what I mean? What is interesting, what we could look at, and again, yeah, sorry, my computer's kind of going slow. So what happens when you start streaming in HD, like 60 frames a second? I need to change that to 30. Oh my God, this freaking line right here. I'm trying to delete it. So it is interesting. We're going to look at the cloud. So we're looking at the cloud. We've already established we're at a horizontal support, and we've actually closed inside the cloud. So that is good if you're looking to execute an end-to-end trade. What you don't like is that we didn't have a bullish TK cross under the cloud before we enter the end-to-end. So the TK lines are still very bearish, actually. And this gap right here, let's look at this. The Tenkan line, or Kijun line is here, the Tenkan line is here. So you actually have about like almost $1,000, $850 difference between the two of them, which lets you know there's this disequilibrium. We probably need to reset. You see that we dumped under the Kijun, and now we kind of almost retested it as resistance. We'll see how this daily candle closes, but that's not favorable at all. And we might even see a retrace down to the Tenkan line. But if you're aggressive and you really want to take an end-to-end trade, like this is how you would do it. Like now would be a great time to just go long. Literally put your stop like, on low leverage, mind you. Put your stop under the Tenkan or under this swing low and just come back like literally a week later. You don't need to pay attention to this on a day-to-day basis. Now, if you look at the 4-hour, which is nice, we actually got this Kijun bounce here and, really reached for the Kijun here and then kind of popped up. I actually would like a touch of that. But everything else is bullish, actually. You have a bullish cloud, bullish TK lines. TK lines aren't too far apart. This one, Tenkin's at 9.2 almost. Kijun's at 8.4 or 8.8, excuse me. So about a $400 difference. A little more than you would like, but it's not, the worst thing. Lagging span, over price, and over cloud. Price over cloud, what I'm saying? The entire checklist. So this is a very bullish setup. And as far as a bullish setup goes, this is probably the best entry you'll get with this wick right here sitting at a horizontal support. So, that would be a great signal to go long on the 4-hour. But again, you have the 4-hour stochastic RSI, which is doing a bearish cross under 50. And then you actually have your RSI looking like it's about to test the midpoint as resistance, which might happen, right? We might dump down. You do like the fact that there's less selling pressure. So we'll see kind of how that works. And then really what you want to wait for is after this sell wave is over, you want to look at this next buy wave, next series of buy volume candles, and see just like, is it more buy volume or less buy volume? If it's less, then yeah, that's definitely bad, short Bitcoin. If it's more, okay, maybe we want to look at some long opportunities. And so that's really just like how we're looking at it, or at least how I would be looking at it. I don't really care for the 1 hour cloud, but I mean, I guess it'll show you some short term stuff. Under cloud, had a bearish cross here actually. Man, this would have been a great entry because it crossed bearish here. So yeah, you're going to be underwater for a little bit, but then you see this shooting star. It's fucking perfect. Look at that. That's literally like a textbook. You know what I mean? Like, look at, come on now. So then you get this shooting star, absolutely no lower wick. The upper wick is like 10 times the size of the body. And then straight 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of black candles or down candles. A little retrace upward, and then more downward continuation. And now we're having a little more retrace upward. We're testing this Kijun line. Unsuccessfully, don't close above it. You can see the 1 hour is about to close in 5 minutes. Low-key had 5 minutes to get above, what's it looking like? Basically 9K. So if we close under, that's some solid resistance right here, sitting at 9K for us. Lagging span, under cloud, above price, but that's just because price is kind of volatile right now. Bear cloud, all not good. People love to look at these flat clouds, which I mean, could be useful. I don't know. I don't know if we'll retrace up. It's just a low time frame, so. And even if we do retrace up, it'll serve as resistance because of all this, all of this nonsense right here. It was support and then dumped. So, I'm not entirely too sure what you all want to see, at least as far as Bitcoin goes. I do have a couple other charts. I'll get to that one a little bit. Let me see if this loads. Bitstamp. I guess I'm only looking at the 1 hour for this setup. Yeah, so we were in this wedge. I have this annotated pretty well, actually. We're in this wedge, popped up out of a wedge, like broke up out of a wedge. That's outrageous. Bull trap, got knocked back down, fell under, broke the wedge, start to consolidate, did a pullback, right? So this would be great if you are waiting for more confirmation before you enter a short trade. And then the target for the wedge I have labeled right here, which is basically just the width, or I guess the height of the base of the wedge. So that right here puts us at this line, which is actually pretty solid because it was resistance here. It was resistance here. It was a little bit of support here, consolidation. So this line has meaning. But yeah, definitely you're kind of waiting for a touch of 8.3, 8.4 before you really want to reevaluate. You should really consider this a breakdown of the wedge. And then look at the volume. Look at the volume on the breakdown. Huge. Like, this is full price. This is the market participating very heavily on a sell-off. The market wants a lower price. They're selling. They don't believe in the higher. There's no demand. There's no demand at higher prices. There's only supply. So definitely you see this downward continuation. You see this buy volume, which is respectable, but definitely less than this locally, this local sell volume, and definitely less than this. So pay attention to that wedge. Definitely think we're going to touch 8.4 at some point. I think we should, even just for a healthy uptrend. You want to break resistances and test them at support. You can see that when we had this here at 8.4K, we never touched this line again. So, you'd like to see that before a more upward continuation. That's also not to say we can't break below it. So, looking at some Wyckoff logic. Let's pull this up. What do you call this? Wyckoff distribution. I need to get my food off the stove. Hold on. Let me pull this up first. Come on, Google, don't fail me. Yeah, look at this for like the next 45 seconds. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So we have this Wyckoff chart. Hope you all spent some good time looking at it. This is really just what it looks like for distribution. Distribution means that big money, smart money, and insiders, market makers, whatever you want to call them, so market makers always buy and sell. They quote both sides of the market. Understand that. But during distribution, they're doing more selling than buying, right? They have to do both because, of course, that's how you make a market. Markets always have buying and selling. You can't have one or, price would only move in one direction. But clearly it oscillates here. So this is kind of like the schematic that you would look for. It doesn't have to, not every part has to be there pound for pound, but this is definitely like something that you want to pay attention to. So I kind of have mine labeled, at least from what I've observed. Where is it at? Right here. Let me zoom in. So this is mine. Labeling this as distribution. This stands for preliminary supply, where you start to see supply leak into the market, less demand. Price goes up when there's more demand than supply. Price goes down when there's more supply than demand, right? Write that down. Rewind the video if you need to, if you're watching it later. Like, literally, that's all you need to know about economics in general. Buying climax. This is the buying climax of retail traders, right? Not the buying climax of market makers, right? Not smart money. You have this automatic response and then a secondary test. That's phase A. My phase B isn't labeled. We really never touched the bottom of this trading range, which I was tweeting about, and I was just like, wow, we really haven't come, down here at all. And it kind of popped up. You can also see my annotations with the volume, as we go. So here we have more demand than supply, right? All of these buy volume bars, wave bars, are more than the sell volume bars around them. Lets me know there's more buying than selling going on. Market makers, big money, smart money, they have way more money than we do as retail investors, so they're going to show up on the volume charts. And this is kind of like how you see them. You can see how the market's operating. And so this was accumulation. Actually, I have a distribution because I'm making a case for this entire thing to be distribution. Like, but this little part right here, this was definitely accumulation. This was the result of the accumulation. You see I have it marked as pitiful. Not a lot of volume. Actually, it was actually less than the automatic response. So that was interesting. But popped up, came up here, a lot of wicks closing, low off the high. Good volume actually. So that was actually pretty good. But if you actually look at these right here, it gave you some early signals before this kind of like climax of volume came up. Price made a higher high here, or a higher low and a higher high, but then less volume. This is what I mean. This is overbought. This is the definition of overbought, right? Fuck what RSI, stochastics, log, like Bollinger Bands, whatever. I don't care what you're looking at to determine overbought and oversold. That's great. Use it for confluence to help you. This is overbought. This is more people buying than the market, is participating. Or this is price going higher than what the market is really doing. Lets you know we're going to come down. So then you have this last push, really trapped hella longs. This was market makers pushing price higher to sell at a higher price because you all were buying, you all were going long here. And then once they were done with their selling, with you buying, they dumped. And then, you had this little retrace upwards. This was a great place for a short entry here because it happened on, look at, again, my annotation right here. Buy volume is non-existent. Yeah, note also like a shooting star right here. Buy volume is non-existent. There's no buying. There's none. And then here you go. Boom, 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 boom. Huge sell-off. Again, no buying. Look at this pitiful volume right here. Another sell-off. Test the bottom of the trading range. We actually had another upthrust. Again, exact same thing. Like you literally can't be fooled by this. You have this high, and then you have that high. But the second one had less volume. Boom, came down. Easy money. It's simple. It's simple, really. If you kind of want to look at this, really trying to tell. I guess this would be good for a short entry. If you want to look at this high, perhaps, and then this retracement upwards. Let's say you missed all of them. I'm noticing actually like a head and shoulders right here. Kind of funny. But actually, if you want to look at that, here's the low point between those two upthrusts. You literally could have caught a wick right here for your short entry. Perfect. Let's say you missed, or let's say you caught this one. So we're over here, right? Price action is somewhere right here. Let's just say these bars to the right of this circle haven't printed yet. And you're looking for a place to go long. To short it. You want to look for previous support and maybe test it as resistance. So really hard. I actually don't think you would have got filled here. You'd have had to zoom into something less than the 1 hour to find an area of support up here where you could have got filled in on this wick, which I don't like. But if y'all want to go lower than 1 hour, feel free to do so. But yeah, again, more overbought conditions, higher high and less volume, simple. And now we tested the top of this trading range again, got completely rejected. And now we're about to test it again. Hopefully on good volume. Let's turn the volume and see what's on. That volume was straight. Again, nothing compared to this sell-off. And then this candle just started. It's too early to really say anything meaningful about it. What you do like as a bull, actually pay attention to this. That was the low of that candle. This candle that just finished printing actually took out that low and then continued up. So maybe you would go long here at the close of this, in which case you'd actually be in like a small bit of profit right now, um, because you like that. But really, if you go to the 15-minute, probably looks really beautiful. Yeah, look at that. That is a hammer, or like a hammer doji, almost like a dragonfly, really. Uh, that does that. You enter, boom, go up. But I'm really, I don't know. You really kind of want to see rectangles, resistance, block. This trading range right here, this is some solid resistance, it looks like. So, I don't know. You want to see how price reacts here. You want to see it flip into support, kind of like how it did right here, where we broke it, touched down, and then kept going up. You definitely want to see that type of pattern repeat again. Overall, I'm bearish. I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally showing you Wyckoff distribution. You can see how distribution ends in phase E. If I actually show you all what I posted on TradingView. Look at this real quick. This fractal. Damn. Wait. These are not my ideas. I'm following these people? I didn't know that. So I posted this on TradingView. Damn. I might have to pull up the chart I put it on. What did I do? I put this on a Coinbase chart. I have so many charts, I really forget where I put certain things. Oh, perfect. Right on the money. All right. So essentially what I did was I'm just looking at the fractals. So I'm looking at this double top right here. Wait, is this the double top? Yeah, no, this is the double top. This is the double top that we need to clear. We need to close above 11.7 for it to be bull season. So I'm essentially just looking at the double top right here. I copied this fractal and overlaid it on like what price is currently doing. And I did not curve fit. It's not a curve, form fit it. I don't know. I did fit it so that it would test this line right here. This was important, right? When we pumped past this overnight, oh man, China really. I think this was China. It could have been the London Open. I don't remember what time it was. But when we did this huge up candle with this insane amount of volume, we didn't come back and test this level, this up thrust, which is like critical. And so I'm trying to make a case for us to come back and test that. And so I literally just, where you have like the purple rectangles, you can literally just see that I copied that fractal, made it smaller, and put it over here. And so far, I mean, this was the first top. I'm trying to look for another top. I have no idea if it'll happen. We could just straight up dump. So far, it's actually pretty accurate, though, as far as... Let me move this over. Yeah. As far as this, kind of came down a little bit, popped back up, retrace. Definitely would like to see it fit that pattern of this profile a little more. Doesn't have to, right? I could totally be wrong, but I'm gonna move that fractal actually. Actually, I really don't care. But this is kind of what I'm looking at essentially. This is what I want to show you all. Kind of a scenario of what might happen. And if we deviate from this fractal, then I mean, we could definitely just pop back up. But this is definitely what I'm looking at. The good part about this, if you're bullish, it actually creates a higher low, which is what you want. Now, ideally, you want to see that higher low come on higher volume, letting you know the market's like Oh no, we're trying to go up. We're not trying to go down. Yeah, so hopefully, you have a higher low. Um, doo-doo-doo-doo. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to share. Uh, do I? I have so many charts. It's ridiculous. Oh, I have some harmonic patterns, I guess. This is a cipher pattern, I think, once this updates. Yeah. A bearish cipher pattern, which the short entry box would be right here. I think I also put that on TradingView. I did. So you can look at that, see how that plays out. We've only dumped since then, so we really have to reach up, probably catch a wick, and then dump down. Not saying it'll complete, just a possibility. Oh, I posted this short. I actually have no idea if this went well. The great part, post your charts to TradingView because then you can kind of like press play and you can see like how things worked out. Yeah, so this was bad because you would have got stopped out. You would have got really. I mean, that's good though. You'd rather get stopped out here than, you know, you'd be underwater right now currently. So, I mean, things happen. Yeah, a lot of my trades are probably really bad. Not gonna lie. Oh, last thing to show you all. I'm glad I went to TradingView. The Adam and Eve. I hate everybody, every influential Twitter person that found this chart because you all ruined it. Like, it was a great pattern. Move the cloud. Great pattern. You have this sharp bottom and Adam and a curved bottom and Eve. We had some type of double bottom here. There was a neckline here, another neckline here, which we broke. But we're actually kind of dumped under it, which is concerning. But this is, again, the only neckline that really matters. This is the confirmation line for Adam and Eve. That's the target, which actually aligns with that local top pretty well. So, but ever since people posted it, I don't know, it's been kind of had a little pullback right here. So that's concerning, you know. It's like, why did you all point that out? If you have a certain number of Twitter followers and you post a chart, the market's going to do the opposite. Like, because everybody's going to FOMO off your chart into the sentiment that you posted, and the market's going to fuck them. So it's just like, if you're feeling bullish, post a bear chart. And if you're feeling bearish, post a chart going to 20K. That's really all I have. Hopefully this video uploads. I don't know. Wasn't looking too hot. And that's really all I have. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I think that's linked in the description below. It's like a freaking YouTuber saying that in the description below. But other than that, predictions, I don't have any. I just do know if that weekly candle finishes as a shooting star, which we talked about at the beginning of the video. It's not looking too good. Let's look at that again. Yeah, if this finishes as a shooting star, shit, we might retest 7.8 again. So that's what I'm looking at. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Ooh. How do you stop streaming? I'm gonna quit.